What's going on, baseball fans? How you doing? Welcome back after a busy weekend, and we're already off to a busy start this week. The Tigers signing Eduardo Rodriguez. Could the Yankees be maybe looking into Freddie Freeman? We have some Rookie of the Year awards announced. The Mets might have their next general manager. We got a few other things to talk about. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get to it. And what is going on, baseball fans? Hello. Around 65 people in the chat to start things off. Hope everyone had themselves a good weekend. I'm already exhausted after one day back to work. I'm very excited for Thanksgiving break next week. One of the many perks of being a teacher, I get time off, and I get a whole week off for Thanksgiving. About a month later, I'll get a couple weeks off for Christmas, but I'm not going to be taking it off. I'll be working on content, going live, so I'm very excited for some time off next weekend. But I am just as happy to be back here in the chair talking some baseball, and we got some good stuff to talk about. One kind of hit close home for me today. Eduardo Rodriguez signing with the Tigers. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. Could the Yankees be looking into Freddie Freeman? I mean, honestly, it makes a lot of sense when you really look at the logistics of it. We'll talk about it. We'll go over the numbers. We have some Rookie of the Year awards announced just a little bit ago. No surprise, really, for the guys that did win. We'll go over those guys. We got a couple other things going on. The Mets might finally have their guy to run everything baseball, all the baseball ops in their front office. I mean, it's about time. But everyone, hope you're all doing well. Oh, wow, we just jumped up to 80 people in the chat. Hope you're all doing well, everyone. Hope everyone had a good Monday. But before I do get started, if anyone is new, hit that subscribe button for me. We just hit 15,000 subscribers. Everyone, I want to thank you all for your support. But I mean, hey, this is just the beginning, everyone. Yes, a nice little milestone along the way to bigger and better things, hopefully. Next stop, 20K. Hopefully we can get to 20K by opening day. So if you are new, hit that subscribe button so you can get all the baseball news and content that, whatever you need for baseball content. But also, hit that like button, everyone. That's going to help get this stream out there to more baseball fans. Hit the bell button. Share the stream if you can. Also, everyone, we do have memberships on the channel. If you go look at the join button on my homepage, you'll find many perks for just 99 cents a month. Badges and emojis next to your name in the chat. Q&As for future live shows. I'm actually going to be posting some Q&As for the members rather shortly for some shows coming up this week. And then we get access to a private Discord where, hey, these guys have been talking in the private Discord there pretty much throughout the day, every day. So it's good discussion in there. And also a subreddit will be made soon. Also, we are partners with Dr. Squatch Soap. So if you want to step up your soap game, go check out the link in the description. You get 10% off your first order of $20 or more. It's pretty good soap. I use it myself. So everyone, let's just get started here. I'll go over the first story of the night. It's the most recent one. I'll just touch on it really quick. And that is, also, really quick, I got to plug one more thing, everyone. If you have yet to see my free agent predictions, go check it out. It's starting to get up there in the views. So if you haven't seen it, go give it a watch. They're all going to be wrong. I hope you all know that. Every single one of them. I'm already wrong 0 for 1 on my free agent predictions with Eduardo Rodriguez. Go take a look at who I thought he was going to go to. But put a lot of time into that. So if you want to go check it out, definitely go give it a watch at some point. But let's talk about the rookies of the year. Randy Arozerena, Jonathon India, winning rookies of the year in the American League and the National League. No surprise for me, really. Not surprised. These guys were the leading WAR leaders in their respective leagues. Let's put the music on. Alrighty, so here is the story. But yes, Jonathon India winning it in the National League, Randy Arozerena winning it in the American League. It was actually really close in the National League, or it was a lot closer in the National League than it was in the American League. Trevor Rogers getting a good amount of votes as well, but India, I mean, pretty much unanimous. I mean, I guess it really wasn't all that close, but I'm just saying it was closer in the National League. But Randy Arozerena, I mean, these guys, to me, these are the clear winners for the rookies of the year. I cannot talk right now. My brain is just not really working. But let's go take a look at the numbers. So Arozerena on Fangraphs leading the way for rookies in the American League with a 3.3 wins above replacement. To me, the next best guy was a Wander Franco. You also had guys on the pitching side too. Someone like Luis Garcia would have been a pretty fine pick as well. He had himself a good season. But to me, Randy Arozerena, this guy was just all around, just fantastic this year, playing at a high level. Taking a look at his numbers this year, hit 274, 20 homers, 69 RBIs, had 20 stolen bases as well, got on base very well. The defense needs to get a little better from Randy Arozerena, but hey, the offense just fantastic for him. And Jonathon India, I mean, this guy looked like he had just been in the major leagues now for a few years. What a season for him. Hit 269, 21 homers, 69 RBIs, 12 stolen bases. Look at that on-base percentage of 376, a 459 slugging. Good defense as well from him. Overall, just a great season from Jonathon India. You could have really took a look at Trevor Rogers as well. This guy was awesome on the mound. 7-8 record, nothing to really get too giddy about, but 25 starts, a 2.64 ERA, 2.55 FIP, 10.5 strikeouts per 9, less than half a home run per 9, walks around 3 per 9. Just really solid numbers for Trevor Rogers. But to me, I feel like Jonathon India was the guy. To me, you know, they were close, but to me, I'm going to go with the guy that just played 150 games. No disrespect to Trevor Rogers. I mean, the guy was fantastic over 25 starts. But to me, Jonathon India was just so good this year, you know, from start to finish. To me, I feel like he just edged him out, and I feel like the voters thought that as well. I mean, didn't really edge him out, but you know what I mean. I feel like it went 1-2 in that way. There's an argument for Trevor Rogers, but for me, it was Jonathon India. So we'll have to wait and see how the upcoming awards go with the Cy Young, the MVP, Manager of the Year, and so on. So stay tuned for that. But let's get to our first. I mean, we've had a couple of free agent signings, nothing too astronomical thus far until today. Eduardo Rodriguez signing with the Detroit Tigers. I mean, I got a lot to say about this one. I love it. I'll say right now, I really like it. I don't fully love it just yet. I think the Tigers, they need to do a couple of more things for this to end up being a really good signing. And let me explain myself here. So let's actually go take a look at Eduardo Rodriguez. Pulling up the story 1 second. I forgot to pull that up earlier. Alrighty, so here we go. Let's share the story. Alrighty, so not officially signed yet, but it's going to be a 5-year, $77 million contract. And you know what? I think this is actually a complete steal for the Detroit Tigers. And let me explain to you why. I was seeing a lot of people. I knew people were going to say this today. I knew it. As soon as I saw the story broke, as soon as I saw the years and the money, I said, I knew those Twitter people were going to come out and they're going to say, oh, he got overpaid. That's too much money for Eduardo Rodriguez. Wrong. It was not too much money. Actually, it's a bargain for an Eduardo Rodriguez. And let me tell you why. Over his career since 2015, he has a total value of $116.5 million. When you average that out, that averages out to be $19 million per season, and they got him for $15.4 million per season. Absolute bargain. The reason that number came down for him, just because, you know, he had the heart issues, you know, from the COVID side effects. So I think also the reason we saw him sign so quickly, because you got these CBA talks. You don't know what's going to happen. There were some rumblings out there that we might start seeing actually, you know, some guys signing quickly just because of the CBA talks. Rumors are that it's not going too well. I mean, who knows what's going to happen with that. But not surprised when you consider Eduardo Rodriguez, with the health issues not too long ago. He didn't go too deep into games last year on average, probably around like 5 innings per start. You would have liked to have seen him go deeper into games last year. The one thing with Eduardo Rodriguez that I'm glad people finally start to catch on to with him were the peripherals with him, were those advanced numbers where, people, I remember early on, I was, looking at the ERA, and obviously it looked high. His ERA was in the 5s at one point early on in his first 10 starts or so. But hey, you guys know me. I love that FIP. And that FIP, I remember through 5 to 10 starts, it was way lower. And it just stayed that way the entire season. If you look at his ERA here, a 4.74 and then the 3.32 FIP, it was nice to see these mainstream experts out there like ESPN, catching on, to these advanced numbers because, I saw this from the get-go. I was just saying, he's pitching fine. It wasn't his ability to pitch that was the problem. He had a bad defense behind him with Boston. I believe they were ranked 24th or 23rd in defense. As much as I love me some Rafi Devers and Xander Bogaerts, Xander Bogaerts was a little better with the glove this year. Rafi Devers, a little better this year for him, but still not amazing with the glove. But the Red Sox, the Red Sox offense this year was great in the outfield. But even there, they had a lot of outfield assists. It still wasn't top notch by any means. But Eduardo Rodriguez, I felt like he was going to fit really well with a team with good defense. I thought he was perfect for the St. Louis Cardinals. I didn't hear anything about the Cardinals coming out, even making an offer. I heard about the Blue Jays. The Red Sox were trying to bring him back. My guess is Chaim Bloom tried bringing him back on a bit of a hometown discount. My guess is they probably offered him maybe 4 years, maybe who knows? Maybe they offered him 4 years, $15 million or something like that. Maybe they offered him around the same amount of money, but he wanted to take the extra year. Who knows? Maybe the Red Sox offered a 5-year deal. Maybe, for less money. Maybe 13, 14 million per season. My guess is that knowing the Red Sox and Chaim Bloom, if I were to guess what Chaim Bloom offered, because there was a report out there that the Red Sox offered Eduardo Rodriguez a multi-year deal, I'm going to guess they offered him 3 years at 45. That's what I bet they offered him at. I don't know. I just feel like Chaim Bloom is a guy that's not going to go long-term for a guy like Eduardo Rodriguez. I don't know. That's just my thought. That's just what I think personally. Maybe he offered him a 4th year. My guess is he offered him 3. And I feel like Eduardo Rodriguez thought, you know what? I'm getting more years with the Tigers. I'm getting $15 million guaranteed. Who knows how this offseason is going to go? Who knows what's going to happen with these CBA talks? Our team's going to go up any higher? Our team's going to move on from Eduardo Rodriguez? I feel like he didn't want to waste his time, and I feel like he just took the best deal possible as of right now. So I think those CBA talks have a big impact on some of these guys, and especially for someone like Eduardo Rodriguez, who had some health issues just recently. So I think for him, he feels good about it if he accepted it. So, hey, good deal. Now, let's take a look at it from the Tigers' point of view. Now, the Tigers last year, not a great defensive team. If you take a look at the fielding here, the Tigers, let me retract what I just said. They weren't just not a great defensive team. They were the worst defensive team in all of Major League Baseball. With Eduardo Rodriguez, like I said, I feel like he needs to have a good defense behind him. If we actually go pull up really quick, Eduardo Rodriguez, one more thing I want to point out. Hortez just subscribed. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you. Also, I think we had a super chat early on. Anonymous, thank you for the $1 super chat earlier, my friend. I really appreciate that. Thank you. But Eduardo Rodriguez, one thing I want to point out here was the BABIP, batting average on balls in play. He led Major League Baseball this year by a mile. 363 batting average on balls in play. When you take a look at his total, he's averaged a 311. But that was before. Coming into this season, he looked like he was averaging anywhere probably 290 or so. His BABIP was getting higher from 2017 to 2019, but the 2021 BABIP, 363, that is just ridiculous. Are you kidding me? If you take a look at the leaderboards for starting pitchers, Eduardo Rodriguez, he pitched at least 150 innings. He led BABIP by a mile. It wasn't even close. He had 363. But also, to prove my point even further, look who is in second place in BABIP, batting average on balls in play. Nathan Eovaldi. I'm telling you, the Red Sox defense did not help these guys out. The Red Sox are not a good defensive team. Let's actually see where they ranked. They were 20th in overall defense. They had negative, they had, what was it? They only had 2 defensive runs saved this year in total. They're not a good defensive team. Eduardo Rodriguez, so it's just funny that the 2 guys that lead on batting average on balls in play are both on the Red Sox. So I'm telling you, Eduardo Rodriguez, he is going to thrive on a team that has good defense, and that's why I said I like the signing. I really like the signing because I think it's good for a young Tigers team. I think they needed a veteran guy in that rotation. I think they have these really good, talented, young starting pitchers, someone like Casey Mize, Matt Manning, Tariq Skubal. They have these guys that they could really develop into a nasty 3-headed monster. But someone like an Eduardo Rodriguez, who has proven to give you innings, where this year he didn't really get deep into games, but at least he will make his start every 5 days. That's something you don't really have to worry about with him. With Eduardo Rodriguez, he's actually slotted in as their ace as of right now, where I wonder, are they done adding pitching? I wonder if the Tigers have their eyes out for some other starting pitchers. Anyway, but with Eduardo Rodriguez, it's good that you're getting a guy that's pitched in the major leagues, a guy that's won a World Series with the Red Sox. He pitched meaningful playoff baseball en route to a championship. And hey, adding a guy like this is never going to hurt. The only reason why I only really like it instead of love it is because of that defense with the Detroit Tigers. They're a horrible defensive team. They had negative 51 defensive runs saved. They were dead last in defensive runs above average. It's not a good defensive team. This now leads me into the next point. Now, this is where I think if you're the Tigers, this is just the start. You got a guy for your starting rotation. This is a good start. You can't stop there. You need to go out and you need to go get yourself a shortstop. And hey, I'm just saying, if we take a look here, and we got a couple of these free agents out here that are in the top 5 when it comes to defense at shortstop. If you look at Carlos Correa, he had 21 defensive runs saved. I think Carlos Correa is the perfect fit for the Detroit Tigers. Or maybe they feel like Trevor Story is more of a guy. Maybe they don't want all the flashiness with a Carlos Correa. Maybe they don't want that sort of rebel-like attitude with a Carlos Correa. Maybe they want that more of a, kind of a laid-back, I don't want to say laid-back, but he doesn't, like all that attention on himself. Maybe they want someone like a Trevor Story who just goes out there, gets dirty, and just plays baseball. Instead of Carlos Correa where, he's doing the watch tapping. Who knows if they want that? We'll have to wait and see. I guarantee you they're going to get one of these guys. Trevor Story or Carlos Correa. They need to add some defense. Now, if you're looking at the numbers, Carlos Correa, according to last year, looks like a really good fit. AJ Hinch is there. There's just a lot of things that make sense with a Carlos Correa with the Detroit Tigers. Now, do they go, like I said, do they go that route with a Carlos Correa? Do they want all of that, I guess that energy from, I don't want to say energy, you know what I mean? They don't want all that, all the watch tapping with Carlos Correa. But, hey, he puts himself out there. So maybe they want that. Maybe they want that star player that's really going to put himself out there. Who knows? I think they're going to get one of these guys. It just makes a lot of sense. They need defense. They know that. The Tigers know they need defense. And hey, you got to start up the middle. They just added Tucker Barnhart. That should help. Now you got to add a shortstop. You got to have a strong spine up the middle. You got to have a good defense. You got to have good defense in center field. You got to have a good defensive middle infield. You got to be good at defense with catcher. You have to be strong. You have to have that strong spine up the middle. Trevor Story, Carlos Correa, one of them will sign with the Detroit Tigers. I'm not sure who. It seems like Carlos Correa is the better fit. Wouldn't be surprised with Trevor Story either. We'll have to wait and see. But overall, I really do like the signing of Eduardo Rodriguez. I don't love it just yet. Get some defense, and I love it. I think Eduardo Rodriguez, it really showed. The numbers prove it. The Red Sox defense, and you could maybe argue Fenway Park a little bit too, didn't help Eduardo Rodriguez. As a Red Sox fan, I love everything that Eduardo Rodriguez did for the Boston Red Sox. To me, though, I would have been okay with Rodriguez coming back on a cheaper deal. To me, I just never felt like he was a good fit for the Red Sox. I always felt like there was something just not quite there with him. And I don't know if I'm not saying it because of his ability as a pitcher. It just always felt like he was too hittable. It always felt like you just see all these bloop shots all the time. The defense never helped him out. That's why I thought he would have been amazing with the St. Louis Cardinals. I know I convinced some of you Cardinals fans out there that Eduardo Rodriguez would have been really good for that rotation. And they need a lefty too. I digress. But this is a good start. They needed a veteran. They got the veteran guy. Now go improve your defense if you're the Detroit Tigers. So, but yeah. Let me know what you guys think about Eduardo Rodriguez going there. Again, as a Red Sox fan, I feel like I'm okay with him moving on. I am. Of course, I'm going to miss that guy that can make his turn. And that's what I liked about Eduardo Rodriguez. He made his turn every 5 days. You know, besides that 2020 season, that anomaly of a season. Is that how you say it? Anomaly. Is that it? Oh, anyway, but yeah, I love that. He made his turn in the rotation, and he was a solid guy to have in your rotation. So, but yeah, I just felt like there was something missing with him. It just felt like he never fully found that fifth gear. You know, he's always searching for that next gear. Can he find it in Detroit? We'll have to wait and see. But let's move on here to our next story. Could we be seeing Maybe, just maybe, I feel like probably unlikely, but it's a story worth talking about. Freddie Freeman as a New York Yankee. I mean, could we possibly be seeing something happening here with Freddie Freeman and the Yankees? Supposedly, the Yankees, they met with Freddie Freeman's representatives today, according to John Heyman. Here is the tweet. Yankees met with reps for all top left-handed hitting first basemen, including Freddie Freeman. Of course, the Braves would seem most likely to retain Freeman, while Rizzo and perhaps trade candidate Matt Olson, among others, may be more realistic for New York, but it's worth investigating the great Freddie Freeman. So, that's a burn right here. Jade McDaniel's burner account. Freddie needs to play for a contender, not a team like the Yankees. Oh, Jade McDaniel winning this one. But, hey, Freddie Freeman on the Yankees, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, they're looking for a left-handed hitting first baseman. It makes perfect sense for Yankee Stadium just because of the short porch. I mean, hey, Freddie Freeman, would he ever leave Atlanta? I don't know. I don't think he would. You think he wouldn't, but at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know. What's it going to come down to money-wise if you're the Atlanta Braves? Pay this man. Give this man the contract. Give him it. Give him the years. Give him the money. Don't go bending over backwards where you're breaking your backs to bring him back. But, I mean, come on. Come together. Figure out a deal. I think that honestly, if you're the Yankees, I think this is more than kicking the tires. They would love to bring in a guy like Freddie Freeman. Why wouldn't they? They brought in Anthony Rizzo. He got off to a really hot start with the Yankees when he first came over. And but then he got COVID, and then he just never really seemed to fully get it going again. I don't know. I don't know what happened with Anthony Rizzo. Overall, only hit around like 250 last year, 249. And Luke Voit, I feel like Luke Voit's going to get traded. I feel like that's a guy. I said this in a couple of streams, ago from a week ago or so. I think Luke Voit would be perfect for the Oakland A's. If you somehow got a deal for Matt Olson and you sent Luke Voit back in a package back to Oakland, I feel like that makes a lot of sense if you ask me. I don't know, but depends on what Oakland feels about Luke Voit. I don't know. To me, I don't think Luke Voigt's going to be the guy. I feel like he's going to be a piece that goes back in a package. To me, when I look at Luke Voit and I look at the Oakland A's, I don't know what it is. I can see Luke Voit in an Oakland A's jersey. I don't know what it is, but he kind of reminds me of almost like Jason Giambi in a way from the right side. Maybe a shorter Jason Giambi, a right-handed one. So I have to wait and see. But Freddie Freeman would make a ton of sense for the New York Yankees. As of right now, this is just kind of just a bit of a rumor right now. I don't think this is a lot. I don't think this is anything to go crazy about as of right now. But this could be something that develops into something. We'll have to wait and see. Now, I wonder if now we're seeing, something about Freddie Freeman and the Yankees. Does this mean the Yankees have maybe cooled off on Matt Olson a little bit? Maybe they're not fully coming to terms on the package with the Oakland A's. I mean, that's what I'm thinking maybe. They're looking at all avenues. They stayed, when Brian Cashman gave his comments about Anthony Rizzo, hey, he said a lot of positive things, but he also didn't sound very committed to an Anthony Rizzo at the same time. I think he gave his praise of Anthony Rizzo. He said said nice things, said he was a solid player, a leader in the clubhouse. He said the right things, but I feel like if he had a choice, I feel like he would rather go for someone like a Matt Olson or someone like a Freddie Freeman. No disrespect to Anthony Rizzo. I love me some Anthony Rizzo. But when it comes down to it, I feel like if you could go, I think Matt Olson would be the best guy because he's younger. He's going to be cheaper. That's the guy that you would want. But if you're the Yankees, you have to do your due diligence. You have to go out there. And obviously, you would love to have a guy like Freddie Freeman. But I think you would, if it were me, as much as I love Freddie Freeman, I love the guy, but I'd rather have Matt Olson just because of the age. He's going to be cheaper. And he's under control for 2 more years. So that to me makes more sense. And the Yankees have the prospects to get it done, or they should have the prospects to get it done. But we'll have to wait and see. But Freddie Freeman in a Yankee jersey, I'll be honest, I could see it. I could see it. I mean, I wouldn't hate it. I mean, as a Red Sox fan, I would hate it. Absolutely. But I don't know. I could see it. Do you see it? I think maybe some of you out there see it. But here we go. Let's move on to our next story. Let's actually stay with the Yankees. I'll just touch on this one really quick. They actually have a new third base coach, and I feel like this is a name that's pretty familiar with some of you out there. And that's Luis Rojas, the new third base coach for the New York Yankees. Very interesting. Taking a look here at the story. The Yankees have hired former Mets skipper Luis Rojas to serve as their third base coach for the 2022 season. He'll take the place of Phil Nevin, whom the Yankees dismissed following the season. Now, I think this is good. With the Mets, I believe, was he was the quality coach? What was his role with the Mets before? What was the role? I forget the name. I mean, Luis Rojas was with the Mets for a long time. He was, in the minor leagues. He was in different positions. He was a key piece in that Mets organization for a long time. I believe he was like the quality control coach. Was that what they called it? But he came on as the Mets skipper. It just seemed like the Mets weren't really buying into, what he was bringing to the table as a manager. To me, I feel like Carlos Beltran's the guy. I feel like they need to go back to him. To me, the players would respect him. Carlos Beltran, very well respected across the league. Listen, Alex Cora has been brought back now. AJ Hinch is with the Tigers now. Move on from the whole sign stealing thing. Carlos Beltran with the Mets, I feel like just makes the most sense. I mean, sure, there's some other guys out there, but hey, that's just me. I think Carlos Beltran would really command the respect of the players. But for the Yankees, this is about the Yankees here, but hey, Luis Rojas, he's shown in the past that, he can be really valuable to an organization, hey, right there in New York too. So I think this is going to be a good addition for the Yankees. So we'll have to see what he does bring to the table for the New York Yankees. So, hey, new third base coach. But let's stay in New York. Whoa, I just almost dropped my cup. Speaking of the Mets here, this is actually kind of a big story here. The Mets might have their new general manager. Finally, after all this time, it looks like the Mets finally have someone to run the baseball stuff over there in New York, and that's Billy Eppler. Let's go take a look at the story here. So as of about maybe an hour and a half ago, hour and 45 minutes ago, it looks like they have pretty much come to terms on a contract. Eppler and the Mets have finalized an agreement. He'll be formally announced as the Mets' new general manager in the near future. Hey, there you go. It looks like the Mets have their new GM. Billy Eppler, he was with the Angels for a while. He did a lot of scouting earlier in his career. I believe he was actually with the Yankees for a while. If I have that right. Eppler is no stranger to New York City. He was with the Yankees for 10 years. So He was with the Rockies as a scout, and he also was with the Yankees as a scout. So, hey, he knows his baseball a little bit. He's a former player. But with Billy Eppler, sure, it didn't quite work out with the Angels, but you got to give him a lot of credit. Hey, he was there when they got Shohei Ohtani. And hey, Shohei Ohtani was the best player in the absolute universe this past year. They got the extension done with Mike Trout. But yeah, it was also under Eppler that the Angels extended Justin Upton, and they also signed Anthony Rendon. So he did help bring in some pretty good pieces. Under him, they were not able to bring in any star-studded starting pitching. I feel like that was what you needed to do with the Angels. But, obviously, they got some solid bats. And obviously, Shohei Ohtani, two-way player. So, I guess he did get a pitcher there. But but overall, they needed to get more pitching, and they just didn't get it done under him. It just wasn't working out. He did make, some other signings. He brought in, guys like a Julio Teheran. He brought in Tim Lincecum, remember that? Cody Allen, Trevor Cahill, Zach Cosart, Matt Harvey too. But overall, I don't know. It just didn't really work. He did make moves, but a lot of them just... they didn't quite work out, though. But one thing to take note of is he had a knack for finding waiver gems. Remember, they had Hanzo Robles at one point, Brian Goodwin, Blake Parker, Noe Ramirez. So those guys did contribute to the Angels after bringing them in. So I think Eppler, I feel like, is a good signing. It seemed like a lot of guys didn't really want this position. I don't know what was going on. But for a guy like Billy Eppler, it makes a lot of sense because this is a chance for him to get redemption as a general manager. So we'll have to wait and see what kind of moves he makes. I feel like it's a very similar situation to what he was in with the Angels. You got really good players at the major league level, not a lot of minor league depth. You have money. The Angels owner, I don't know. They spent a lot of money when he was there. So, I know a lot of, Angels fans out there like to call their owner, cheap. But, they have spent a lot of money over there. So, but with the Mets, you got a lot of money to work with there, too. Now, this is really interesting to me, though, because recently there was a story that the Mets want David Stearns as the head of baseball ops. So, after 2022. So, in this article, it points out that even if the Mets bring in someone for the general manager role, David Stearns is still their guy that they want to run baseball, the Brewers' president of baseball operations. So we'll have to wait and see what happens after this season. Could you maybe see someone like David Stearns come in and run things, and maybe, Billy Eppler, take note, he is the general manager. So take note of that. General manager. He's not the president of baseball operations. I'm just saying, I think the Mets, they're looking long-term here. They're thinking, okay, we can bring in a guy like a Billy Eppler. This will be a guy that can help us out for this year. He can make some moves. He can, he can run the baseball stuff. He can run all of the baseball operations for this year, but then really bring in a guy for next year. And then these guys could be a really good team next year. We'll have to wait and see. Could this end up coming to fruition? We'll have to see how things play out. But, they wanted David Stearns this year. They wanted guys like Billy Beane, Theo Epstein, but, that didn't work out on either end. And then they also wanted David Stearns, but the Brewers wouldn't let him get an interview. So, I don't know. Will David Stearns want to be the next guy leading things for the New York Mets? So we'll have to wait and see. But overall, I like the move for the Mets. They needed someone. You can't hate it. The guy's been a general manager for the Angels. So, hey, you can't hate it. Now the question is, what are the Mets going to do this offseason? They need to make some moves. They need to get some things done. We'll have to wait and see what he ends up doing. So let's move on here. We have just one more story before I get out of here tonight. I'm not going to take too long tonight. I'm still working on a couple of videos that I want to get released this week. But we have one more story. Let's stick with a team also in the National League East, and that is the Atlanta Braves, bringing in Manny Pina as their new, I would say, a backup catcher. But let's take a look at the story here. But here we go. Again, I feel like he is going to be more of a backup catcher. When you take a look at the numbers, I mean, he had 13 home runs this year, but only hit 189, 33 RBIs. But when you look at his defense, he's definitely more of a defensive guy. And when you got Travis d'Arnaud there, to me, he's more of an offensive kind of a guy. So I think it's actually a good duo. When you take a look at Pina's defensive numbers, a 9.8 defensive runs above average. I actually really like this signing for the Atlanta Braves. You know, they have some younger guys down in the minor leagues, but I don't think this changes anything. They're just bringing in a backup catcher. He's going to provide some really good defense. I like it a lot. For the Atlanta Braves. He has some pop too, so that never hurts to have in your lineup when you have, you know, good defense with it too. So overall, I like the move. Again, I don't think this does anything for guys like William Contreras and Shea Langeliers. I don't think this is going to, this is not going to affect anything with those two guys. Those guys are the future. So overall, I think it's a good signing for the next couple of years. It doesn't hurt to have some good defense, especially at the catcher position. So, everyone, that is all I have for tonight. Just a quick show for tonight. I kind of wanted to run through things quickly tonight. I have some content that I'm working on to get pumped out to you guys. I'm working on one video right now. It's where free agents that I think teams should sign, not predictions, but teams that the players that I think that they should sign. So be on the lookout for that this week. I'm also making another video on trades that I want to see this offseason. So be on the lookout for that as well. I will be live tomorrow night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night. So the current schedule is Monday through Thursday at the moment. Maybe, you know, sometime on the weekends if something happens over the weekend. Stuff generally, you know, news, any signings, they tend to not happen too much during the weekends. So that's why I'm kind of just sticking Monday through Thursday for the live shows for now. But if anything does happen on the weekends, I will go live then as well. But everyone, again, be on the lookout for tomorrow night's show, as well as Wednesday and Thursday. And be on the lookout for content this week. Before I do get out of here, again, if you are new, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 20K by opening day. If you are looking for more baseball news and content, hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button before you get out of here, everyone. Hit the bell button for me. Share this to anyone that wasn't able to come on in tonight. But everyone, that is all I have. I want to thank you for stopping by. Have yourself a good rest of your night. Have a good day tomorrow, and I will see you tomorrow night. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.